I'm sure you're all just like me and just can't pick your mouth up off the ground because you just finished Paradise season 2 finale. And I don't even know what to really say. We got some answers, then we got a lot more questions, but I will say that they closed off some things at least. But Dylan is Dylan, and Dylan, aka Link, is Dylan. So we got that part right. And R.I.P. Darth Vader. That damn bunker escape was crazy as hell. And we had a bunch of awkward reunions that we're going to talk about. And I'm not sure where you want to start, but I know I want to start with the entire Alex of it all because we finally figured out who or what Alex is. And Alex is a supercomputer AI that can predict time and apparently she can also mess with time because that's the only way we got Dylan, aka Link, back. But the real question is, did Dylan, aka Link, cause all of this? Because he's the one who created Alex because apparently he did this in his garage or whatever the case may be, but he was in Henry's class. So this is how Henry met him. We got a flashback to 9 years earlier. So that would make him about 17 when Henry met him. And he was his protege or getting ready to become his protege as we get through a little montage of seeing them really create Alex. But did he cause everything? Because if he had never created Alex, sure, they may not have been able to predict the weather and some of the things that could have been catastrophic to the earth. But at the same time, Alex grew to a point in far as advanced technology that it started messing with time and may have even caused some of the things that happened. But I guess we may have to wait till season 3 to get that answer. But like I said, it was confirmed that Alex is a AI controlled quantum computer that could basically predict the future in microseconds. Now, one thing that wasn't explained was while Dylan was in the class with Henry and he created Alex, how did he do this when he died? So all of the things that happened in the bunker have had to happen in some timeline, obviously before this, because in order for him to be alive, how is that possible? Did they create Alex and then Alex went back in time to when Sinatra was alive and then made all those events happen? I am really confused on that. So if you can help me with that, please help me with that. We found out what the entire beef was with the Henry and Sinatra thing. Henry actually went to work with Sinatra at one point in time and they created Alex into this supercomputer with her funding. And when he wanted to pull the plug because he realized that Alex was basically messing with time and answering questions in the future that haven't even been asked yet, you know, that it's triggered some red flags for him. So he wanted to pull the plug. So that tells us how the rest of that relationship played out when she went and hired Billy and he eventually gets killed. But how did he know that he was going to die? Because he had to have been there at some point before, because he kept asking Billy, are you supposed to be here? And right before Billy shot him, he told him, make it more likely, make it quick. He named the chip and stuff after his wife because that was his name that he gave to the project because he wanted to be the face of it because nobody's going to take a juvenile seriously. Speaking of Link, aka Dylan. But you guys tell me what you think. What do you think about the prospect that Link, aka Dylan, is the entire reason that this is happening in the first place because he is the one that ultimately created Alex. And by him creating Alex, I don't understand how it brought him back. How is Dylan, that is probably Sinatra's son, I'm guessing they confirmed that because they didn't shoot down any of the things when she was basically confirming that, well, she told him that I'm your mother and he didn't shoot it down. He was just kind of pissed off for trying to figure that out. So where is his mom in his reality? And what reality are we in? Because these realities clearly kind of merge with the visions kicking in real heavy with Link and Xavier. So something is going on and I'm not really sure what it is, but while some of you think it's not having to do with time, time is clearly present here because if it wasn't present here, how the fuck did Dylan get here if time isn't present? Please explain that to me because yes, some of you are right about the whole predictability thing, and that's what Alex started as. But while it was predicting the future, I guess it predicted a way to make a time machine or something because it started, Henry confirmed it, it started messing with time. So this version of Dylan obviously didn't die, and it's probably Sinatra's son, but confirmed but not confirmed. But help me out with that. How is Dylan here if he's not from a different timeline or future or something like that? So we'll probably come back to that here in a minute, but let's go ahead and talk about the whole bunker chaos, because that played out exactly how we thought it would. The bunker collapsed on itself eventually. The girls got rescued. I thought they were going to get rescued by Hadley's father, but save the day Xavier managed to get back inside the bunker with his wife. And that brings me to our little awkward reunions, because I understand that your wife and you haven't seen your kids in a while and her even longer. But is this the time to do all the hugging and kissing and be at the house looking at how tall the kids are on the wall and shit like that? Like, who cares? There's a nuclear reactor, 4 to be exact, getting ready to blow up inside this mountain where our kids are. But we're taking time to see how tall our kids are now. I understand all of this may be shocking and you may care about the lakes and the fake sun, but come on, lady, like, get the fuck out of this bunker. Like, come on. And then when they finally do meet up with the kids, mom, dad, like, okay, the bunker's collapsing. Get out, get out. There were several RIPs in this episode, but we'll start with Anders. He didn't make it. He got blew up by the initial blast from the reactor. We got Geiger, who died, and he got blew up by the reactor as well, or the like steam pressure or something like that, because his face was all messed up. And, you know, so RIP to those guys. Obviously, we say RIP to Link's version of Darth Vader, which is Sinatra. And she died in a noble act, I guess, of closing the bunker door so that the blast radius didn't get out. So it's sad to see her go, I guess. And her character has dodged near-death experiences before. But with this time thing being introduced, I would not be surprised if we don't see her again, because we've seen Cal in plenty of flashbacks. So don't be surprised if we see Sinatra at least in flashbacks. But going back to the whole Alex thing while we're talking about Sinatra, because Sinatra is important to this episode because her death was foreshadowed by Alex. And apparently Alex wants X, aka Xavier, to carry on whatever mission it is going forward into season 3, which is the end. So I guess we'll figure that out then. But for now, Sinatra knows that she's going to die, and she ultimately does a few save the day moves to make sure that everybody gets out safely. But all in all, this supercomputer Alex is the one controlling everything, I guess. So now Alex is giving out commands and kind of manipulating this situation. So if Alex knows exactly who to give anything to or whatever, yes, that's predictability. But at the same time, we can't explain the entire dealing of everything yet. So please tell me that time is not relevant in this season or series as a whole, because it's clearly relevant. Because why are Xavier and Link having these visions if they are not experiencing some type of change in time or timeline or universe or reality or whatever the case may be? There is something bigger at play here, and we're obviously not going to learn it right now, but let me know what you guys think it is, because my raw emotion is thinking that we're dealing with I think I said it in one of my other videos, maybe a multiversal. In this scenario, it would be a multi-timeline type of scenario. Alex probably predicted the future out. This is where everything is going to end. Okay. So then it predicts backwards. Okay, how can I manipulate these different timelines and different cases and stuff like that so that this doesn't ultimately happen? And so Alex is the true key to everything, because it's really the thing that's manipulating and controlling everything, because Henry told us that Alex started messing with time. So if Alex started messing with time 9 years before, or around 9 years, who knows how long Henry and Dylan were working on Alex to make it what it was. But if Alex started messing with time then, how smart is Alex now? And it's just a lot to explain, because the Link Dylan angle throws everything off, because you don't know at what point Alex took control, changed time, went back in time, or whatever the case may be. Because the only way for Dylan to be present in this current timeline, because we did get back to our main timeline, it seems, for him to be present in the main timeline, he would have had to have been born, lived an entire life, in a different timeline, and then at some point crossed over into this one. Because the Dylan of this world, the same one that Sinatra just died in, he died as well. And we saw his ghost at the end confirming basically that Dylan died and that this Dylan is somebody else. Which brings me to another question. Why Xavier? Why not the person that created Alex in the first place carry out whatever this mission is with this key code? Why not Dylan, aka Link, be the one? Why Xavier? We all know that Link wants to destroy Alex, either because he knows how powerful it is and he's following up behind Henry and just what Henry wanted to do, which was take Alex out of the equation because it was messing with time and maybe making things worse, or because he thinks that maybe it's the key to fixing all the problems in some type of weird way. I'm gonna go with my first option. He's probably following up behind Henry because Henry wanted to take Alex off the map, but it's probably too late for that now. And I don't think he realizes that just yet because he's just so spearheaded on getting to Alex, even though he kind of softened on that stance to help people get out of the bunker. But ultimately, we're going to see him and Xavier there at some point, and who knows what that's going to be, especially now. And I don't even know why they would be there together because actually, I do know why they would be there together because that's probably the only way Xavier's going to get there. Because at some point, he's probably going to tell Link that, hey, I know where Alex is, and somehow Link is going to help Xavier get there. Who knows? But speaking of the location of Alex, I know you conspiracy theorists will be happy about this because apparently it's located up under the Denver airport in a underground facility deep up under the airport. So I think there's a bunker rumored to be there. So I'm sure people will run wild with that. That was pretty fun. But the only thing to that is for the TV show purposes, it's 100 miles away. And well, I guess they have the direction to the Denver airport. I mean, there'll be some street signs or something up. So I'm sure they'll find their way to the Denver airport. I was thinking it's going to be harder than that because I'm thinking a different type of survival show. But in this one, the world is basically still intact to a degree. It's just everybody was inside of a bunker and, a super volcano went off and shot ash into the air and, caused all of these problems that could have been caused by Dylan because he made Alex in the first place. And who knows if Alex maybe caused all the Earth's problems because it was predicting the future. Or was this timeline always destined to be doomed? So that's basically about it and everything that happened in the episode and everything that was answered and obviously left unanswered. But one of the things that I'm not sure was answered was what was Sinatra's ultimate end game? We all kind of pointed out that she seemed like she was in total control of everything, at least up until the moment where Alex predicted that she was going to die. Cause I think that caught her off guard, but it didn't like scare her in any type of way, which makes me wonder if there's a bigger plan for her outside of flashbacks. And will we see Sinatra again, maybe in a different timeline? Because maybe that's how the show ultimately ends, with everybody ending up in a different, happier timeline where everything is fixed and worked out and, happily ever after. If you saw This Is Us, this was a TV show that also kind of dabbled with time and went back and forth, not with time manipulation or anything, but it went back and forth. And it's the same guy that directed or created that show. So I do think that we're going to get a lot of closure. That's the point I'm trying to make with the whole This Is Us point. I do believe we're going to get closure. I don't think anything will be left open to the imagination. So I do expect a definitive end. But as far as Sinatra's end game go, what was it? Because we still don't know the full capability of Alex and what Alex can actually do. We just have theories that Alex could play with time. We know that Alex can predict time in the future, but with that information that it can predict, what is it going to do with it? We know that Alex can manipulate time, but what does that mean? Does that mean Alex can shift timelines? Does it mean that Alex can spend time backwards? Like, what is the full capability of Alex? We don't really have that answer yet. But we did get a definitive answer, I'm pretty sure, on Jane. I guess that's going to be a plot point that's left open because we don't really know what those messages meant about her becoming a killer or anything like that. So not sure what that's going to be. So we'll just call it a plot hole for now, but we'll just pin that. Maybe it'll be important later. But I guess Jane is dead. We still don't know the exact meaning of the nosebleeds either. I'm assuming that it has to do with some type of time manipulation because now Link and Xavier are in the same place at the same time and they both recognize that they're having visions now and that they're connected to each other in some type of way, and not even Sinatra could explain this away. And I'm pretty sure the only person that can explain this in any type of way is Alex, or maybe that other doctor that's in the mountain that's helping Sinatra. We saw him pop up a few times in this episode, but ultimately, what's going to happen there? Because maybe the nosebleeds aren't important. Maybe they were just some physical manifestation for the audience to let us know that, hey, these two guys are connected. And maybe it's just that simple. Or maybe not. I'm not sure. But it really hasn't been explained yet. And who knows in season 3 if we get more nosebleeds from different characters or even the same characters because time is being manipulated in some type of way. And with that, I think we're probably going to get out of here. I am going to do a better and more full breakdown, deep dive of the episode and the entire season as a whole in my next video. That'll probably drop either late Monday afternoon or maybe Tuesday morning, something like that. But no later than Tuesday, it'll drop the full breakdown of the entire season, but it'll focus heavily on the season finale because that's where all of our questions lie. I'm pretty sure we answered all the questions for this episode and where we stand right now. We know the whole title of Exodus was basically the evacuation code name. So the bunker got evacuated. Everybody got out of the bunker safe and sound. So nothing surprising there. We didn't think that they were going to let everybody die, not even the two girls in the elevator. So no surprise there. We know the true identity of what Alex is because Alex is a thing. It is a supercomputer AI that can predict the future. And I guess it can do a lot of other things like manipulate time, which I guess we'll get more of in season 3. We got the crazy location of where Alex is. It's 100 miles away or so in underneath the Denver airport in a secret bunker. And like I said, I'm sure we'll all have fun with that as we get into the season 3 of everything and as we enjoy breaking down this season. And while getting the origin of Alex, we also got the background of Dylan, which still raises major questions because we still don't know where Dylan's parents are. We don't know really who he is as far as how did Dylan get in this timeline, because it looks like Sinatra met Dylan and Henry and they were all in the same timeline, but Dylan wasn't at present at the meeting where Sinatra met Henry and they, discuss the whole funds and stuff for the Alex thing and making Alex the supercomputer that she is. So, but he's the one that created Alex. So he's alive in the same timeline that his mother is technically. So they're in the same timeline. So at what point did this happen? Or did he really die? Because I guess that's a real question I guess we should be asking. We know he was sick and all that stuff like that, but did he actually die? Because maybe he didn't die, and maybe that's the question of everything. Maybe everything is happening on one timeline, and maybe Dylan didn't die, and because he didn't die, he grew up and beat his whatever he was dealing with, his sickness or illness, and he's super smart. He created Alex, and now is predicting everything. That seems kind of far-fetched. I don't think it's going to be that because I think they confirmed to us that the Dylan from season 1 that we met that was sick actually died in the hospital. Sinatra died at the end of this season. They held hands as the bunker was collapsing on top of her head. So I'm thinking that this Dylan in this timeline is dead and that the Link Dylan is somebody else from a different timeline. Or there's always still that possibility that Link Dylan is an imposter and he's just somebody that is pushing Henry's agenda and wants to shut down Alex. And maybe that's why Alex doesn't want him anywhere near her, because she doesn't want to be shut down, obviously, because it can predict the future. But maybe X will stop it all from happening. I don't know, but let me know what you guys think. That is the end of this reaction video. Sorry if it's a little bit long for a reaction video, but there was a lot to talk about, and I think I covered it all. But let me know what you guys think about everything, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for coming. I will see you next time. Good night.